This is the Dr. Paul Show, a woman's personal guide to understanding men. And now, here's Dr. Paul.
Hi, this is Dr. Paul. Welcome to the Dr. Paul Show. As you've heard, we are not on the internet, in video, audio only. Thank you, Bill, for making that announcement. Insanity. What? Insanity? What does that have to do with anything? Well, guess what? You are not insane if you watch or listen to Dr. Paul. I know. Some of you may not believe that, but trust me, it's true. But let me tell you what is insanity. Logarithms for compatibility. What? That's right. That's right. You heard it right. Can you believe this? A multiple number of people out there are selling these logarithms, which are mathematical systems, for $300 to $500 to tell if you are or are not compatible with your significant others. They offered Dr. Paul the opportunity, wow, quote unquote, to guess what? Have that sponsor. And I said, absolutely not. I do not involve myself with any situation that I do not agree with. I am not going to allow anybody to put something on my show that they expect me to endorse if I don't believe in it. Why don't I believe in it? Algorithms, for example, used in the wonderful destruction we had with the economy, was based on algorithms through Wall Street. That's right, a mathematical system. Let me just give you some example of what I'm talking about. The assumption is that people are always rational and that people always act in their own interests. Therefore, any marketplace is a self-correcting entity made up of informed sellers and buyers whose competition and self-interest enforce fairness and create total efficiency. These assumptions also allow human beings to be easily modeled mathematically. Now, that's the last part that I really disagree with. You are not going to model a human being mathematically. I don't care what your statistics tell you. Human beings have emotions. And we've talked before about human beings who are in relationships have an olfactory attraction, a sense of scent attraction to the other person. Now, how in the world are you going to put that into an algorithm? You're not. There is no mathematical formula available to have that happen. It's absolute rubbish. It's nonsense. If you go back to Keynesian economics, there's something called, human behavior. And, of course, having my doctorate in behavioral psychology, I can assure you that human behavior is obviously a factor. Where these people get off, even in investing. So, some genius, and I use the word under advisement, decided that, we can make a lot of money by selling these packages, $300 to $500, to people who want to make sure that they're compatible with their significant other because of a mathematical formula. Are you kidding? Bill, what do you think of that? Is that ridiculous or what?
That is totally ridiculous, the number game.
It's exactly right, a numbers game.
It's all numbers.
It has nothing to do with feeling, emotion, nothing. And yet they want to sell these packages for $300 to $500. You're better off, really, truly, I truly mean this, to go to It's Just Lunch. We have astrological systems on our website. Use those, but this is nuts. And if you're paying $300 to $500 for these, you deserve what you get. Nothing. Thank you, Bill. Well, Wall Street went nuts, and they lost their shirts, okay? I was a guest earlier, thank you, Frida Drake, Dr. Drake's show, and gave some ideas about, economics, etc. And I can tell you that there's a new concept out there called heterodox economics. And I use this only because they take into consideration human behavior. And that's what you have to do. You cannot simply look at numbers alone and expect that to be the wherewithal. They had liar loans out there. Well, you may as well say we have liars who are dating each other. Well, that may be, but guess what? You're not going to measure the immeasurable. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but maybe not. What do you think, Bill? You think I'm missing something here?
You're never missing anything, Dr. Paul. You're right on the money, sir.
Give him a raise. Tell that to the secretary, okay? Write that man a check. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. But I have to ask, because too often we look at something and we say, well, that's an idea. Maybe that's a new idea. Not all new ideas are good ideas. There were ideas from the past that may be better than what we have now. So this is one of them. So it goes. Talk about a few other things here tonight. I had a laugh at, well, I think it was on Huffington Post, that's what it was. Huffington Post, and I talked about a few things on a fitness site. In fact, it was Yahoo Magazine and also Fitness Magazine. They had done a study of 1,000 people, ages 18 through 64, finding out what people liked, what women liked primarily. And as luck would have it, 50% of the women surveyed said they wanted to have more sex. Now, why are guys out there whining about sex? Because they don't have to whine. 50% of women surveyed said they wanted to have more sex. Also, women were more likely than men to consider bad sex a relation deal breaker. In other words, if you're a dud in bed, dude, you like that, Bill? If you're a dud in bed, dude?
If you're a dud in bed, dude, then you should listen to Dr. Paul ramble through your head.
He's a poet. It is a deal breaker. Women don't like to be taken for granted in bed or any place else. Listen to what they want. Ask them what they want. They may tell you, especially in the 21st century, all right? Well, the women are sexual beings includes the boom in sex toy industry of the last few years, driven in large part by women purchasing vibrators, and the best-selling erotic novel, 50 Shades of Grey, which I need to get and read, I haven't done that yet, has a solid male fan base, but women are its target audience and have driven its success. So you see, as Shakespeare said, things are not as they seem. What do women want? We're going to get into that in a moment here. A number one road to lovemaking for both men and women is dinner and a bottle of wine. About 24% of men and 26% of women responded that is the magic combo to get their motors running. Men and women, nearly half of all adults, 50% women and 43% of men, have talked sexually over the phone to heat things up. That makes sense, right? They have 911 calls, not 911, but some other calls. What is it, 900 calls where you can pay money to have people talk to you?
900 calls.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Anyway, we're going to get back into this right after this upcoming message. This is the Dr. Paul Show.
And now, back to the Dr. Paul Show.
Hi again, this is Dr. Paul. You're back with Dr. Paul, the Dr. Paul Show. The number one way to make your lady friend feel sexy is simply to tell her, I love you. Nearly half of all women, 42%, say this is the surest way to boost their ego. That's almost twice as many as were turned on when their guys told them, you are so hot. Wow. As for the length of lovemaking sessions, interestingly, women estimate it takes on average 39 minutes from foreplay to the orgasm, while men say 45 minutes. They're stretching it, aren't they? Well, that's how it works. Now let's go to the neat stuff here. This is going to be the areas that women find to be most stimulating. And men. Both, actually. Okay, number one, dinner date with wine. Both say that's the sexiest way, the best thing that turns them on. Text, email, or phone calls was a turn on for the 18 to 25 crowd. Over that level, it becomes more erotic. It becomes more like sophisticated, and people prefer the atmosphere. Number two, 44% of women get turned on when their partner says, I love you. We just said that. Only 26 were told, you're so hot. The more narcissistic women, who are into themselves narcissistic, were turned on to you're so hot. Over half the men turned off, over half the women were turned off by the words you're so hot. And among college women, 80% were turned off by hearing a man say, "You're so hot," unless they were drunk. So if they're drunk, you can tell them that, guys, if they're in college. Otherwise, don't go there. That makes sense, doesn't it, Bill? Absolutely.
I didn't mean to turn you on.
That would work.
That's a song. Remember that?
That's right.
Remember the
Exactly.
song? Robert Palmer.
You're right. Absolutely.
We should use that going into the next commercial break.
All this trivia, I think you're right. I love it. Number 3, 35% of men and women would have more sex if they had 1 more hour per day. Hey, friends, there's only 24 hours in a day. That 1 more hour, you're just going to have to utilize that 24 better. Number 4, married people have more sex per month than single people. I know that may be hard to believe, but let's face it, they're together, so that means they have more sex. They have a greater opportunity. Not all people take advantage of that, but overall, that is the program. Number 5, 42% of all women have had sex talk with their romantic interests. In other words, on the phone. 42%, okay? Now, this is interesting. That's number 6, 69% of women have sex on average 2 times a week. On average, that's almost 70% of women have sex on average 2 times a week. Other facts, they said, only 3 to 5% of people have sex once a day, married or single. If you have sex more than 7 times a week, you are in a class by itself, the upper 0.5% worldwide. Unless, of course, you're a sex worker. But 0.5% worldwide have sex more than once a day. That would be 7 times a week. I don't know if it's once a day, but it's 7 times a week. So there you have it, all of these neat statistics. And I'm not sure that they may be appropriate for you. It may be something that you're aware of, maybe something that you can identify with. So you got it there from Dr. Paul. Let's go back into this thing about the breast implants. This is from Bloomberg Business Week. The company Polyplan Prosthesis developed a simple way to pass the required annual inspections of its manufacturing process for breast implants to keep its outside auditors from discovering it was filling implant casings with cheap industrial-grade gel to shave costs. 400,000 sets have been recalled because they are potentially hazardous to the health of the women who had them implanted. All right, we're going to go to the email right now. There's one that I'm going to involve myself with first because it has to do with implants, and I chose that article to mention because of this, and it was kind of sad in a way. Well, if you're going to have implants, you got to listen to this. If you're thinking about it, you need to listen to this letter. We got this letter in, looks like we got it in on Friday. Dear Dr. Paul, you are so right about implants. I had a set put in 3 years ago, and I have been sorry ever since. I have completely lost all nipple sensitivity. My size is now 36C, and I have had more than my share of jerks hit on me for that very reason. That's sad, isn't it? I'm going to go back and comment on this after I finish reading it. I knew I would attract men, but I never asked myself what kind of men. I am seriously planning to have them removed. I was an A-cup and gave myself the excuse that my clothes would fit better. I lied to myself, and I knew I was. Tell your audience to listen to me. I had a boyfriend who wanted me to have big ones, as he put it. He paid for the operation, but I am paying the physical price, and he's gone. I blame myself for being such a fool. I hope this helps a lot of women out there who are thinking about it or are being pressured by their boyfriends to do it, like your YouTube videos say. This is from Houston, Texas. Look, they like everything bigger and better in Texas. Well, it may be bigger, but it's not better, obviously. Let's go back through this. Was I right about implants? Yes, I am. I can't get a plastic surgeon to come on this show and talk about implants because I insist that they tell me what percentage of nipple sensitivity is lost. They will not do it. And they will have you sign any type of agreement that prevents them from being sued if that happens. And it says in most of their disclaimers, you may have some loss. No, you're going to have a lot of loss. That's the way it works. So I can say this, yeah, when you get those big balloons put in, guess what happens? You are going to be attracting men you don't want. Bill, you have a comment.
Would that be tweaking?
I think that would be tweaking. I think you'll also have to say that if you're going to find yourself in a situation like you have, and there's more to this, one of the reasons you want these removed is because you are sick and tired of the jerks that are hitting on you, and I can understand that. If that's all they want, then I had this case, and I've said it before, a man called in, oh, I like them big boobs, I like them. Well, guess what? I told him, go to a medical supply store, buy a couple breast implants, take them to bed with you, and you'll live happily ever after. Oh, that ain't funny, Dr. Paul. Well, he hung up. And I had dozens of calls thereafter from women who said, you go, Dr. Paul. And it's true. If that's all they want, why bother? Why would you put them in? You got a boyfriend who's gone, he paid for it, and you're saying, I was a fool. All right, you may have been, but that was then, this is now. Don't beat yourself up over it. You're saying to yourself, I blame myself for being such a fool. Don't do that. That's not going to help you. You're helping people right now by emailing to Dr. Paul and saying, look, this is not something I really am glad that I did. I'm very unhappy that I did it. And you're right. You're saying, I want to help a lot of women out there who are thinking about this procedure, who are being pressured by their boyfriends to do it. Yeah, you were pressured. And he paid for it, and now you're paying the price. Okay? So what do you do about it? You do exactly what you're doing, and frankly, I would say that you might want to call various shows, email, to me, you've done this, and get into discussion groups with women who are thinking about it and saying, think twice. Look what happened to me. I have been butchered because I can no longer have any sensitivity in my nipples because of these balloons they put in. I am accosted by men who are jerks, who are only interested in my size as opposed to me, and I'm tired of it. And I can understand how you feel. It's sad. It's just unfortunate that so many women go through this. You're helping them. I appreciate your sending this to us because your helpfulness right now at this moment, there are women who are looking at this show, listening to this show, and saying, maybe I better rethink this thing. Here's a woman who's gone through what I may be going through. Now she's going through another operation. And I was talking to Dr. Frida Drake before the show, and she said, the sad part about this is she's going to have another surgery. And I said, yeah, I understand that. And certainly she's going to have, but the price is too much for her to pay right now. She's sick and tired of the idiots that are hitting on her. So she wants to remove this, be herself, and have people accept her for who she is. I can see that. I understand that. And I appreciate very much your sending this in. Thank you. Okay, moving on to another one. We've had a number of emails, and see if we can do something with this one. Dear Dr. Paul, are you serious? Oops. Do you really believe that narcissistic women care only about themselves? It's from my guy. Okay. He says, damn right they do. I will never go with another one. I really cared about her, but the problem was we both cared about the same woman. Bill, have you ever gone with a narcissistic woman? You're both in love with the same woman? I've heard women say that. Trouble is, we were both in love with the same man, right?
I'm only loving women.
I see. Well, they love themselves, and you have, no, they have no use for loving you. They love themselves. In this case, they're narcissists. Men can be the same way. So the man says the problem was we both cared about the same woman. We call you the love dude. I didn't like your stuff at first, but then one of the guys in the house, so he says fraternity, said, hey, this guy has his you know what together. I can't use that word on the air. Anyway, This guy has you know what together. We watch a lot of your videos and even show the ones to girls that we want them to see. What? You show the videos to the girls that you want to have them see. So their videos you don't want them to see, right? So you can you believe that, Bill? These guys are showing videos to the girls, Dr. Paul's videos, that they want them to see, but they're not going to show them the videos they don't want them to see.
Oh.
Sound like fraternity guys, doesn't it? Okay. We're going to go to a break pretty soon. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what Bill has on here right now. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now, back to the Dr. Paul Show.
Welcome back to the Dr. Paul Show. We're having a good time here tonight. We had the pizza guy come by, John. He delivered a pizza in here. Nice guy. Anyway, we're now talking about, he's laughing out here and talking about the fraternity guys. I like these fraternity guys. It reminds me when I was there. Oh, Lambda Chi Alpha, but we'll not go there right now. Okay, so somebody's going to respond to that from Lambda Chi Alpha someplace. Hey, yeah, Dr. Paul, okay. You guys are bad. So we even show them the girls that we want them to see. Dude, do you think that maybe they saw, Dr. Paul is on YouTube, so we're going to go there too? Anyway, you probably figured that out anyway, but I like your attitude. Anyway, I should have listened to you in the first place. I really knew she was a narcissist in the beginning, but not thinking what they had on my shoulders. At least you admit it. This is good. I like this one, Bill. You like this one, Bill? Of course you do.
Narcissistic women.
Yeah, right. And then he says, the last sentence, oh, yeah, and she was the worst in bed ever. I don't want to sound like, see, I told you, but see, I told you. Go ahead, Bill.
Where do you find narcissistic women at?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, sir.
All right. This apparently was one of the students that he was in school with, okay? And what that means is they're into themselves. It's all about them. It has nothing. Whatever they talk about, it's about them. And that's true for men too. Narcissists are male or female. This is not just limited to women. And I recall having had an experience like that, and it was one of those things where you're so lucky to be with me, and I'm saying, no, I'm not. Go ahead, Bill.
When did the word narcissist?
It came from the Greek.
Oh, it's been around for a long time.
Absolutely, yes. It's from the Greek basis. We'll go into that later. But this is where the person thinks they're so insecure that they have to have constant reinforcement that people want them. Women or men, constant. It's all about them. There's no emotion whatsoever for anybody but themselves. Oftentimes we'll see people who are in politics that are narcissistic. We'll see, that's a very good place to find them, and they obviously are there. They never do anything wrong. It's all everybody else's fault. They're perfect. Everything they do is about them. Movie stars, all the time. It's on and on. Not that all movie stars are that way, but some. People who just have such low self-esteem, or more important, probably low self-confidence, not low self-esteem as much. Can be that as well. But they need constant reinforcement about people wanting them. Women say, oh, men want me. Well, yeah, maybe. This guy obviously doesn't. Yeah, Bill.
Would Jay-Z and Beyonce be narcissistic when they wanted to shut down that whole hospital wing and nobody else could get up there to take care of their own baby?
Well, that was pretty much, I don't know. But I can say that, I don't know. I can't answer that except that when it comes to a point it's all about you, then there's a pretty good evidence there that you are. I don't know what that circumstance was. I mean, I know what happened, but I'm not sure the basis for that. It's all about me. There are others out there that feel that way. I don't know what the circumstances were. It may have been for their own protection. I don't know. But I can tell you this, that it's obvious that a woman or a man who is a narcissist is the worst in bed ever, because they don't care about your pleasure. They care about their own pleasure. You don't mean a thing. It's all about them. Thank you for writing this from whatever fraternity you happen to be in. I found it to be cool. I didn't know that it was called the Love Dude, but I guess I am. And he obviously says, I didn't like your stuff at first, but when one of the guys in the house, fraternity, said, hey, this guy has his together, we watch your videos and even show the ones to the girls we want them to see. You guys are bad. I love it. Okay. Now, ladies, you see what I'm talking about? I'm here. If you want to find out about a man, why ask a woman, ask a man, right? So there's an example of what I'm talking about. These guys, these guys aren't stupid, but at the same time, everybody makes stupid choices. So there you go. And he admitted it, which I like. The man had the courage to admit he was wrong. And he also had the courage to say that he wasn't using the head on his shoulders to make that choice. He knew up front that she was a narcissist, but she was probably very attractive, well put together, on and on and on, and he just couldn't help himself, could he? And the ultimate was that it wasn't worth it. Okay, next letter. Yes, Bill?
Well, speaking of real men,
yes.
While you were getting ready for your show, I was doing some research on some topics, and
Yes.
I came across some men. Now, would these be considered real men? They were there in Chicago protesting the United Nations summit meeting that's going on there.
Right.
And each one of these people that were in the service and won a medal
Right.
got up on stage and talked and then threw their medal away
You know why?
because they were They thought it doesn't mean anything for what they done and all that stuff.
I still have my medals. I don't know. I don't know why they did what they did. Were they in the Iraq War or were they Afghanistan War? Or were they both?
That I don't know. I just
Okay.
know there was about 50 of them standing in line. Like from the movie Forrest Gump.
Right.
Where
Right.
you're standing up to go and talk on stage
Right.
about the war or whatever. This happened to be just about NATO.
I don't
United
know.
Nations.
I'd have to. Were they all U.S. or were they a variety of countries or what?
They were all U.S.
I see. I don't know. I have to look at it. I have no idea. Can't answer that one. Dear Dr. Paul, I can't wait to see you in the movie Crave. Good. I can't wait to see me in the movie Crave either. I understand that it was shown along with many films in Cannes Film Festival. We are going to see it with our softball team. Okay. We want to friend you on Facebook and put our team picture there. Good. Didn't we have one recently that had a softball team that wanted to... Okay. Different one, I presume. I believe it was. Okay. I see this is from Pittsburgh on the bottom. So, yeah, I think that was Ohio, wasn't it? Something like that. Indiana, something. Illinois, I don't know. Okay. Did anyone ever tell you that Saturday Night Live had a guy on some time ago who had a smoking jacket and a glass of champagne? Yeah. That was Christopher Falcon? Wasn't that who it was? Is that right? Yeah, that's right. The Continental, right? Saturday Night Live. I did it first. I did it before he did it. I know that sounds funny, but I did. You're going to comment, aren't you? All right. So, in a moment. Anyway, yeah, so she says that was cool. Anyway, our question is this. Do you think that guys' softball teams would be willing to play us? And she says, no. It is slow-pitch softball, and they don't want to. We think they are scared of getting beat. What do you think? I think you're right. They're scared of getting beat. I love it. We think you would play with us, right? You bet I'd play with you. No problemo. Up, better up. Let's do it. We love you from Pittsburgh. Thank you. I love this, too. You're great. You're great. Yeah, put that team picture up there on Facebook. I think that's cool. Yeah, I think these guys are afraid of being beat. I really do. They would never live it down with their buddies, right? Oh, look at those guys. That's a girls softball team beat them. You know what? You probably will, too. They don't want to do it. It's super. Well, let's go back a little bit to what she had to say. Saturday Night Live had a guy on some time ago with some smoking jacket and a glass of champagne. That was cool. Yeah, it was cool. And I think that a lot of times people are, the pendulum is swinging a little bit the other way. People now are looking more for sophistication. Somebody that's a little more smooth. I mean, the day of the guy that has a lot of his hair on his face. He's not real shaven close, and he looks mad. So a magazine, I won't say which one it was, yesterday, and here's a guy there, looks like he's mad, and he's got his face is not shaven. I mean, it's obviously not a razor blade ad. And there's some woman hanging on him in the back. Now the guy looks angry, like, what's the matter, dude? You got a stomach ache? It looks, maybe you've got some serious issues. Maybe you need a laxative. I don't know. But bottom line is, just stop it. Nobody's impressed with that. No, I don't know why they come up. Bill, are you impressed with these guys in magazines? They look like they haven't shaved for maybe a day or two, and they have this real mean look, and arms
the Don Johnson look.
Well, that was decades ago, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's obsolete. Women aren't turned on to that. I don't know what the deal is, but they keep putting them in there. Like, okay, so you're angry.
Right,
why are you angry? Because you can't do anything else but look angry, right?
Obsession, Dr. Paul.
Oh, please. Oh, my. Anyway, we love you from Pittsburgh. Great. Put your team on there. Thank you for this. I love it. And, yeah, I think you... And, by the way, if you get these... Show these guys this video, and you tell these guys, guess what? Dr. Paul thinks we're going to kick your tails. All right? I bet you win. I'll put my bets on you guys, okay? On the girls, okay? None of the guys. On you. Thank you for writing that. Oh, my. I have a question for our love doctor. This says, I have a question for our love doctor. I haven't seen this one yet. Let me see what this says.
You're the love doctor.
I'm the love doctor. Okay, I have a question for our love doctor. Okay. Dr. Paul, I call you our love doctor because you have helped me and my boyfriend a lot. I like that. Okay. Please tell us which one is right. Uh-oh. Dr. Paul's going to be in the middle. Which one of us is right? My boyfriend says guys shouldn't so much show that they care about their girlfriends. That spoils them. No, man, you're on the wrong track on that one. Here's what she says further. It makes me furious when he says that. I agree with you, she says about Dr. Paul. You said if a man or a woman doesn't show they care, then they don't care. Yes, Dr. Paul did say that. I don't believe in trying to make a guy jealous, but sometimes people do something wrong or without thinking. Something stupid, perhaps? I know some women try to make their guys jealous just to test them. I know you don't believe in playing games. No, that's the wrong thing to do. Don't go there. I don't care if he's not responding the way you want him to respond. You tell him. You don't sit there and give him some silly test and play games, because you may really get yourself into a situation. You are right again. Anyway, I would like you to resolve this, and we are having some friends over too. We hope you will answer this email soon. Thanks for all the good advice. This came in Tuesday the 15th. Going to a break right now? All right, we're going to continue with this. This is Dr. Paul. You're on the Dr. Paul Show.
To talk to Dr. Tough Love, call toll-free 1-866-826-1340 or 727-441-3000. Dr. Tough Love returns in a moment.
And now, back to the Dr. Paul Show.
Hi again, this is Dr. Paul. We're back with this letter, by the way. This says your fans near Chicago. Okay, you are right. Again, anyway, I would like you to resolve this, and we are having some friends over too. We hope you'll answer this email soon. Thanks for all the good advice. This was received on Tuesday after last week's show, which would be the 15th. And I appreciate your sending this in. And I'm going to have to take sides on this. I'm Dr. Tough Love. I'm going to take a side. I'm not going to, waffle here. Your guy is wrong, okay? You're concerned about somebody, you care about somebody, you show it. That business about guys shouldn't show so much that they care about their girlfriends, that spoils them, and it makes you furious. You've told him it makes you furious. Fine. He is not correct. You are correct. And it does bother you. You feel like he doesn't care, and that's a wound. That hurts. I understand that. It makes you feel sad, and you don't want to feel sad. He doesn't want to make you feel sad. He thinks he's right because this is what his friends have said. It's a macho thing. Do not allow yourself to be influenced by your so-called friends, your frenemies. I call them, they're friends in face, but in fact they're enemies. So they're frenemies. They're dicey. And this is true with women and with men. They tell somebody something and then they take their word for it. So actually, men ought to listen to a woman just as women listen to Dr. Paul. If you want to find out about a woman, why ask a man? Ask a woman. If you want to find out about a man, why ask a woman? Ask a man. And that's what it's all about. So you are correct. You're correct in being furious. You would not do that to him if the places were changed. So therefore, you don't want him to do that to you. Again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling it like it is. I appreciate your sending this. I really appreciate the fact that I have helped you and your boyfriend a lot. I think this is going to help you both as well and others who are watching this show. I deeply appreciate your letter. Thank you from Chicago. I've had good times in Chicago. Okay, Dr. Paul. Dear Dr. Paul, my sister and I watch your show all the time. Thank you. We both have a problem. Oh, not because you're watching the show, I hope. Well, maybe not. The same problem. We are in our 20s and going to clubs. A lot of guys are too touchy-feely as soon as they meet you. Oops. Do you have other women who ask about this? Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, recently I've had a lot of emails about guys who are right away, touching, feeling, not feeling sexually, but just touching. And she says it's a turnoff for us, and it's really repulsive. Guys, if you're doing this, stop it. It's turning these women off. They don't like it. They don't know you. You walk up and start touching them. What do you do that when you go, start feeling the merchandise? I mean, come on. So she says it's really repulsive. That means they don't like it. It repulses them. They, one of those things. So I asked one guy, and he said he, oh no, one of these seminars, how to pick up women. Oh my. He said, I asked one guy and he said he learned it from a seminar. I told him you better go to a different seminar. Amen. I think that's true. We think guys that do this are jerks. What do you think? I think they're jerks too. Guys, stop it. It is not helping you. It is not helping you one bit. Don't walk up and start, oh, hi, how are you? If you want to shake their hand, maybe that's all right. But you start rubbing your hands on their, maybe you're getting rid of something on your fingers. I don't know. It's rude, it's crude, it's unacceptable, and it's repulsive. And she's not the only one. She and her sister, I'm having this more and more, and I believe that is one of the things that they tell these guys at these seminars. Guys who couldn't pick up a woman if their lives depended on it, so they go and spend anywhere from, $3 to $5 to $1,200 to, and believe me, I'm aware of this, up to $3,000 in some cases to get all the DVDs and the books and go to the seminars and get refresher courses. It's amazing. It's really amazing. If you're that out of touch with how to relate to a woman, then maybe you might want to go see a psychologist and really find out where you're coming from and what you're doing and how to relate to people overall. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a jerky thing to do, and if they're they're going to a seminar to learn that, obviously, as you said, quite appropriately, you are in the wrong seminar. I agree. I think, guys, you better wake up because you're turning women off, and if you do that, you're never going to get anywhere with anyone. Okay? So it goes. And if you don't believe it, ask your sisters or ask a female that you know. What do you think of a guy that walks up and says hello and he starts, they're going to say, maybe not, dude. That doesn't work for me. And I know in some cultures it works so badly that you'd probably get slugged good. So it goes. Okay, we're running up to the top of the hour. We have one more that I think we'll be able to get through. I have a question for the Love Doctor. I want your opinion. A friend of mine is always making comments to my wife like, you're beautiful, or I should have met you first, and even emails her. One of the emails she showed me said, it's a cold night, let's share body heat. When we all get together, he puts his arm around her and even kisses her on the neck. His wife just seems to ignore it. What do I do? Whoa. You're asking me what to do? Dump him like a bad habit. Get rid of him. Get him out of your life because this guy is heading for your wife. This guy is going for it. Maybe his wife ignores him overall and he's not getting the attention that maybe he's not getting the sex that he needs, and he's hitting on your wife to get just that. If you can't see this dude, you better wake up right now. Dr. Paul is telling you, get him out of your life, get him out of your wife's life, dump him like a bad habit. He's history. I know you've got this guy that he's been a friend of yours apparently for a long time. You're couples, you get together, and this guy's pulling that, and his wife ignores it. Maybe she's used to it. Maybe she's given up. Whatever he does is fine with her, or she doesn't care, and probably doesn't care. Don't let him get away with it. Now, you said that you saw one of his emails, okay? I should have met first, okay. Apparently, your wife showed you that email. Now, what does that say to you? She's giving you a message. She's saying, hey, you're my husband. This guy sent this to me. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to wimp out? What kind of man are you? I'm losing respect for you because you're not challenging this idiot for doing what he's doing. He comes up, put his arm around you, kisses you on the neck, and you don't say anything? Wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee because you're going to be making your own coffee in the near future. This guy is going to go there. I kid you not. Get rid of him. Tell him he's a jerk and whatever else. Tell him, don't you ever contact me or my wife again. If you do, I'm going to take out a restraining order against you. Your history. Done. You're not a friend of mine. You're a frenemy. You act like a friend, but in fact, you're an enemy. I like that term, frenemy. Okay? And that's what he is. He is hitting on your wife, whether you like to admit it or not to yourself. And you know something? You really know it. Because if you did not know it, you wouldn't be sending this to Dr. Paul. You're saying, whoa, maybe I'm seeing the light here. I'll see what Dr. Paul says. And Dr. Tuflov is saying, you're going to punch him one. Nope, I can't advocate violence. I guess we can't do that here. But get his attention somehow. Tell him face to face, man up to him. Say, listen, jerk, your days are done with me. Out. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, right? Remember that one, Bill? We got that one. Do that one up, coming up. I think we have to look at these people and say, you're an opportunist. I don't like it. Get out. Done. Our lives together, our friendship is over because we don't have a friendship. Done. That's totally unacceptable. You know that. I mean, if somebody pulled that on me, they know better. I'm the kind of guy that you don't want to cross. I will get even. People know that. I mean, I'll go legal on them, a heartbeat, and whatever it takes. What's yours is yours. Okay, that's it. You don't even try to reason with him. Don't try to tell him don't do it again. Drop it, cut it right there. Say you're done, no more. I want nothing to do with you again. Close the door. That's it. If he emails your wife again, say you emails you. You tell me about it, and I'll file a restraining order against him. Nail him. Go legal on him. Does that sound rough, Bill?
It don't sound rough. It always sounds smooth when I'm listening to Dr. Paul.
All right.
Smooth.
You're the man, Bill. You're the man. It's true, though, isn't it? I mean, if some guy's going to hit on my wife like that, I'm going to cure of the habit. He's going to be out of that ballpark real quick.
Well, you can usually figure out if they're going to let you, talk to their wife or not talk to their wife.
Uh-huh. And somebody tried something probably that you're familiar with.
Well, and
I took care of it.
Even if you try to ask,
No, there's no asking. There's no compromise. That's the end of it right there. You cut it right now. No question about it. That's how it works. Well, we've had a good night here tonight with the Dr. Paul Show. We certainly enjoyed you. Sorry that we did not have the video on the internet tonight. Sometimes we have issues and we can't help it. The technical issue. I hope that you have a great upcoming week, and you email Dr. Paul with any of your questions about what we normally have known as Dr. Tuflove's Answers. In the meantime, as always, this is Dr. Paul. May your fantasies of today be your realities of tomorrow.